Imagine being bullied like this in real life. Yeah, it has already happened to someone. It has been revealed that the school violence displayed in Netflix's The Glory was based on multiple real-life events, especially the Cheongju Girls' Middle School incident that took place in 2006 in the North Chungcheong Province in South Korea. Public outrage follows the revelation that the real perpetrators of the case, which took place 17 years ago, were let off with lightweight punishments, according to information released by JTBC. The writer of the drama claimed that her initial inspiration for the story was her daughter's thought-provoking question. Asking her mother if she'd be more heartbroken if she were to seriously hurt someone in school or if someone were to hurt her. The all-girls middle school bullying incident garnered a lot of attention at that time. It was known that 3 third-year students had assaulted a classmate for 20 days straight. The perpetrators demanded that the victim bring money, and on the days when the demand was not complied with, they would beat her collectively. It is said that the victim, who went by Miss Jong, became a target for the bullies after she refused to respond to their questions one day. When the victim's injuries came to light at first, her family allegedly submitted a complaint asking to punish the student, but the school responded lukewarmly and rather stated that Miss Jong had fallen while riding a bicycle. In The Glory, there is a scene where Park Yeon-jin burns Moon Dong-eun's body with a curler because she had reported school violence to the police. This scene is similar to the actual event. The main perpetrator, Miss Kim, and 2 other girls had burned her whole body with a hair curler, beat her with a baseball bat, and pierced her chest with a clothespin, causing scars that would remain for years. Hair curlers can be heated as high as 200 degrees and they can cause severe burns. The victim's month-long physical abuse also resulted in a protruded tailbone, which led to a 6-week hospitalization. During an interview with a local news outlet at that time, Miss Jong stated that she had no time to heal her blisters and wounds because the bullies would burn her body every few days and use her body to check the curler's temperature. They even peeled her scabs with her nails as a form of punishment if she did not bring the money, which had to be around $10 every day. She also revealed that while Miss Kim tortured her with a hair curler, 2 other perpetrators held her down so that she could not move. Miss Kim also threatened to kill her if she screamed. Miss Jong then gathered the courage to inform the police of the violence herself. Chungcheong police received a report from the 16-year-old as she pleaded with the police officers to save her life. Upon observation of her injuries, they asked her to name the perpetrators, and she did. Then the 3 students, including Miss Kim, were investigated. They denied the assault throughout the police investigation and were only subjected to parental observation. It was known that the 3 bullies pretended to be good friends with the victim all along so as to fend off any suspicions. However, some reports claim that the hair curler incidents took place in the classroom, contradicting the fact that the other students and teachers had no idea what was going on. Miss Kim threatened Miss Jong to name other students as the perpetrators, and she could not help but comply, as the police complaint was not doing her any justice anyway. Unfortunately, the personal informations of 3 other innocent girls who were reported as the wrongdoers went viral, and they received heavy criticism and phone call threats. In a turn of events, Miss Kim came forward with confessions of all the violent crimes. She described what she had done in detail to the police and was later charged with assault. On June 2nd, the district court issued an arrest warrant against Kim, citing the brutality and gravity of the incident, and she was handed over to trial on charges of collectively assaulting her classmate with a weapon. However, the court only imposed a punishment at the level of probation and sent her back home for observation. It was reported that the perpetrators did not even have a criminal record left. Unlike the drama, the main perpetrator was tried in court, but the result was not the same as there was no punishment. The court explained that the decision seemed to have been made considering the fact that it was a first-time offender and a minor. The victim's father was enraged by the negligence of the case and he filed a complaint against the school, saying the school's investigations were not legitimate. Consequently, the school and teachers received administrative penalties for poorly handling school violence. Ms. Jong's father also said that she suffered nightmares and woke up screaming in the middle of the night at times. He also regrets neglecting her when she asked him to transfer her to a different school. Netizens commented the law is as far away as yesterday, and the perpetrator 17 years ago must have become someone's parent. It's terrible. The perpetrators live proudly, and the victims live in a dirty world where they have a hard time with scars, I'm so angry, etc. Do you want more daebak content like this? Please like the video and subscribe below. It helps out with the algorithm and helps us to create more daebak content. Back to another horrible real-life incident. The writer also took inspiration from the famous gasoline case of 2020 that shocked the citizens. Mr. Park, a 22-year-old, was asked by one of his friends to come to an empty lot. That was because he wanted to celebrate Park's birthday. The celebrations were supposed to be a horrible prank in which they tied Park to a chair, with his face covered and poured gasoline all over his body. The perpetrators then lit fireworks and set the sparks on his knees. Park's entire body caught on fire and he sustained third-degree burns. SBS reported that the bullies did not help Park and just asked him to roll over to put out the fire. They even refused to call him an ambulance. Mr. Park described it as the most horrific way of torture as he felt it would be the end of his life. His family took legal action against the group of young adults involved in this crime, but they got away with probation and monetary settlement, which could only pay half of Park's treatment bills, which added up to around 80,000. Park's family filed another civil lawsuit which is still ongoing, and netizens took to online communities to demand that the victim get the justice he deserves. In the meantime, the Malaysians who saw the scene of the hair curler violence that appeared in The Glory are pouring out their sadness and anger more than anyone else, drawing attention as it reminded them of the Osman school violence incident. Osman was a 21-year-old who passed away on June 1 after being tortured and assaulted with an iron by 18 students in the dormitory for Marine cadets at the National Defense University in 2017. At the time of the autopsy, more than 90 burn marks were found on Osman's limbs, causing public outrage. The perpetrators used a vicious crime method that burned the entire body except for the face and the back of the hands that were visible when wearing the uniform. In 2021, the court sentenced 6 people to 18 years in prison for murder and aiding and abetting murder, and 12 people who participated in torture were sentenced to 3 years in prison for inflicting injury. Another victim called Park Sung-min from Daegu faced abuse exactly similar to Moon Dong-eun from the drama during her school years and did not receive any form of justice as the bullies got away with just community service. She talked about her painful story and everything she had to endure at that time and asked for advice and guidance and whether she should seek revenge on her tormentors. Another school bullying story from Japan, which is similar to The Glory's Moon Dong-eun's revenge arc, was the case from 1991. A 27-year-old Japanese man named Asahi had tried to get back at his bullies from middle school 12 years after the incidents. He had organized a reunion, which would gather about 40 alumni and 5 teachers together so he could execute his revenge plan. He included the entire class along with the teachers because he considered the silent spectators of the crime equal to the perpetrators. During his school days, Asahi was targeted by the bullies because he was physically weaker. He transferred from his elementary school and his parents hoped he would get along with his classmates at his new middle school. However, he became a victim to the bullies. They would pretend they were playing or wrestling and put him in headlocks, bang him on desks and chairs, lock him up in closets, humiliate him by pulling down his pants, forcefully make him drink sewage water, and etc. Asahi sustained severe injuries and had to get stitches as well. In the drama, Dong-eun spends most of her life plotting the perfect revenge by getting a specific job, meeting specific people at certain times. Pretty much everything she does contributes to the plan in some way. Just like that, Asahi decided to major in chemistry. Eventually, he got a lot of licenses in that field and ended up working in a company that had access to all lethal chemicals and substances. The reunion took place on January 2nd, and Asahi resigned from his company on December 27th. Asahi had maintained a diary in which he would record his sentiments and plans. He had learned how to create makeshift bombs at home and decided to plant them at the reunion location. He also added arsenic, a deadly chemical, to the beer bottles and chose strong foreign beer to cover the taste. He had it all stocked up for the party, but fortunately, his mother came across his diary and reported him to the police. Asahi was arrested on January 1st, and all of the harmful stuff was confiscated by the police. However, the reunion still happened for some reason, and the classmates only found out the next day. A makeshift bomb exploded at his house and resulted in the injury of some police officers. Asahi was found guilty and sentenced for 6 years in prison. Generally, a lot of people think the perpetrators are deserving of such punishments as the law does not guarantee proper measures. But this kind of extreme revenge tactics are not legal or morally appropriate. The furthest anyone can go is revealing personal details on the internet. However, this reputation-threatening method can be abused by the wrong people. For example, entirely false or exaggerated accusations against famous people. The writer of the drama just wanted to depict the horrors of school violence, mistreatment, and tormenting of young students to make everyone aware of how severe the consequences can be, even if the incidents took place decades ago. According to reports gathered by the Ministry of Education, South Korea, over the past 5 years, school bullying cases that have been investigated or assessed have increased from around 31,000 cases in 2017 to 44,000 cases in 2021. During these few years, around 150,000 students were subjected to school violence, and 68% of the cases did not get the perpetrators any criminal records. Only 2% of the bullies were transferred to another school, and 0.1% were expelled. The director of the Netflix drama The Glory has been accused of bullying only hours before the long-awaited second season of the show's launch. On March 10, media sites claimed that Ahn Gil-ho has been charged with school violence in the past. Recently, a netizen allegedly claimed that the director had bullied them in 1996 when they were in middle school, while Ahn Gil-ho was a high school senior in the Philippines. They wrote in an online community, "I didn't know that Ahn Gil-ho was working as a drama director because I usually don't watch Korean dramas. As The Glory became a hot topic, my Filipino schoolmates shared it in group chats. Don't want to make an issue out of the fact that Ahn Gil-ho is doing well for himself. However, it was absurd and unforgivable that the perpetrator of school violence directed shows that alerted school violence such as The Glory. So I am revealing it to the public." According to the netizen, in 1996, director Ahn Gil-ho was dating Miss A, a middle school girl at the time, and the netizen and their classmates teased her. Ahn Gil-ho ordered for the netizen to be brought to him and collectively assaulted them with about 10 of his friends. "We were then assaulted, and while interrogating us when we didn't answer him, he threatened to stab us with a knife. We were assaulted for about 2 hours," said the victim. They also stated that it wasn't easy for them to come forward because they were afraid of the retribution. Ahn Gil-ho initially denied having any memory of committing school violence, but soon admitted to the bullying allegations on the 12th of March. Kim Moon-hee, a lawyer from Jipyong Law Firm who is Ahn Gil-ho's legal representative, made a statement. Director Ahn Gil-ho had a girlfriend whom he started dating when he studied in the Philippines in 1996. And when he heard that his girlfriend was teased at school, he instantly hurt others. That wraps up the list of real events from The Glory. Which event did you think was the absolute worst? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe Daebak content. And thank you so much for your support. 사랑해.